Hi guys, good morning. My name is Victoria. Welcome back to the channel. So on this channel this morning we are going to be drafting out a pants pattern. So please, if you are new on this channel, you can please subscribe, and if you've been a existing subscriber, thank you for subscribing and staying tuned with us. So this morning we are going to be drafting a pants pattern. So the first thing we're going to be doing now is that from the pattern I've drawn out a straight line, which is going to be my side line. So I'm still going to be making another straight line from here, which is going to be my waistline and my starting line. So let me do that. So this is going to be my waistline. So now the next measurement I'm going to be taking now is my crotch line, and my crotch line is 11. My crotch line is 11. Now if you don't know how to get your crotch line, what I usually use and that works on everyone and especially all my clients is that I divide my hip measurement by 4, my hip by 4, and I add 2 inches to it. And when you do that, you're just going to get the perfect crotch line. And if you don't want to do that, then you use the one that is on the picture on the video. So now my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 2 is 11. That's my crotch line. Then the length of this pants is going to be 16. It's a short pants. It's going to be 16. So I'm just going to be drawing out my straight lines. I'll be connecting my lines. So I said this is my crotch line and this is my pants line. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to insert my hip measurement. Now my hip divided by 4 is 9. My hip divided, so I'm going to be placing that same 9 measurement at my waistline. So the same hip measurement I took here is the one I took here. So I'm going to be connecting. I'm going to divide your hip by 4, and what you get is what you'll be placing here. So the next thing I'm going to be doing here is that I'm going to be placing my tape rule here, which is now I'm going to be dividing by 4. So you can just fold your tape rule this way and you get your measurement. So this is 2.25. So I'm just going to be going up this way. This way, I'm placing that same measurement on these 3 points. So I place the same measurement here, here, and here. So now I'm going to be connecting this. This is going to be my hip line. So this is my hip line. And then from this point here, I'm going to be going up by 1 inch. Then from this 1 inch, I'm just going to be connecting it this way. I'm just going to use my curve to just make the curve. You can use your free hand. I just choose to use this. You can actually use your free hand if you want to. It's not a big deal. So this is it. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking my waist measurement. Now my waist measurement divided by 4 is 6.5. So with this 6.5, I'm going to be adding 1 inch for my darts. I'm going to be taking in my darts with 1 inch. So this is it. That's 7.5. So from here, I'm just going to connect from this point to this point. You can actually use your free hand if you want, because it's not supposed to be too straight. So I'm just going to do that. So this is it. So now I'm going to be this trouser is going to be having 1.5 inch band, which is what I'm going to be taking out now. My 1.5 inch for my band. So I'm just going to take it this way. And I'm going to connect these 2 lines together. So now this is for my band. So from here now I'm going to be taking my darts, because my darts will not be on my band. So I'm going to be taking my darts from here. So now what I'll be doing is I'll be dividing this by 2. This by 2. And this is where I'll be placing my darts. So from this point I've taken ½ inch on both sides. Now my dart in the front is just going to be around 3 inches. It's going to be around 3 inches. So I'm going to be connecting these 3 lines together. So this is going to be my dart for the front. This is my band, this is my hip line, and this is it. So now I'm going to be adding my tie. Okay, before adding my tie measurements, I'm going to be coming down from my crotch line by 2.5, and that is where I'm going to be placing my tie measurements by 2.5. You can actually come down by 3, you can come down by 2, depends on, you can come down by 2 or by 2.5 or 3, but preferably you should come down by 2.5, which is going to be okay for any client you're working on. But if the person is on the big side, you can just come down by 3 and it is going to be fine. So here, this is my tie measurements. So from here now, I'm going to take my tie measurements. So my tie measurement is 20. So I'm going to be adding a bit of an allowance to this, so that's not going to be too tight. So I'm just going to be adding a bit of an allowance. I'm taking that same measurement down. Okay, I want it to be straight, so let me just make it this way. So this is it for the front pattern. So this is our front pattern. So this, now I'm just going to cut this out and we start cutting that off the back. Now don't forget that I do not add any sewing allowance to this. So when cutting on the fabric, I'm going to be adding the sewing allowance. So let's cut this out. So this is our front pattern. Now we'll cut out the back pattern. And to cut out the back pattern, I've placed the front pattern on this plain sheet, which I'll be using to cut the back pattern. And I'm tacking this with a needle, because I'll be using this to cut out that of the back. So now the next thing we are going to be doing is that I'm going to be coming to the crotch line. I'm marking 2 inches out. 2 inches out. This is going to work for any clients. So this is 2 inches out. Then I'm going to be coming down by ½ inch. Now make sure this is aligned. So now I came out by 2, coming down by ½ inch. Now from this point, you remember for the front I came out by 1. So for the back I'm just going to be coming out by 1.5. I'll be coming out by 1.5. Then I'll come to my dart leg. So on my dart leg, I'm going to be dividing what I have from this dart, because you know I'll be taking in this. So from this dart, I'm just going to be dividing it by 2. So whatever it is I have there, I'm just going to be making a point from this. So that is the point. So now from this point, I'm going to be going up by 1.5. Just going to be going down by up by 1.5. Now this 1.5, if you are on the big side, you go up by 2. Depends on how big. If you are very big, you can go up by 2.5. But if you are moderately big, you can go up by 2. But because I'm on the small side, so I'll be going up by 1.5. So now from this, you're not going to be connecting all these points together, and that's how you get your curve for the back. So now I'll just do this way, make it easier for me. Some of us are just not good with sketch. So I'm just going to trace it out very well. Hope it's clear enough for you to see. So this is my back line. This is my cuff for the back. So what I'm just going to do is that I'm going to be connecting from this point down to my pants leg here. So I'm just going to continue connecting it down to my that leg. Now we'll come up to this waistline. Now whatever it is I'm having here, this is around 7.75. I'm going to be bringing it exactly here. Now you bend your ruler this way and making sure that your ruler is on this tip here. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. So this is it. Remember, my dart is on the front, so it's also going to be on the back. So I'm just going to connect this together. So this is it. I'm just going to connect it together. So now this is the waistline for my back. So this allowance here we'll put here. The reason why it's there is because it's for it to accommodate your bum bum, because you know your bum bum is not flat. So this place is to contain the bum bum. So from there you're just going to connect this to this place, this to this place. So just between that, connecting this back to this place. Just going to connect this place. So this is it. So now from here, and I'm still going to insert my dart back here by dividing this into two and placing my dart. So now I'm just going to, let me just trace this down so I can remove the front pattern. Just going to trace this down so I can remove the front pattern. So now I'm just going to remove the front pattern. So this is your back pattern. This is for your back. So now I'm just going to insert the dart here. So my dart here is just going to be 4. It's going to be on 4. The one that of the front is 3. We went down by 3, but this we are going to be going down by 4. So from this, I'm just going to connect this way, this way. So now I'm just going to cut this out. So this is our back pattern. This is that of our front pattern. So now remember that on this pattern, I didn't add any sewing allowance. I'll be adding it on the fabric. So when you are cutting this pattern on your fabric, you can add like 1 inch allowance round. You can add half if that's what you're comfortable with. But I will advise you have enough sewing allowance, so you can just come out by 1 inch all round. Coming out by 1 inch all round is best. All round, but with the crotch line and everything. But that's what you'll be using to stitch your fabrics together. So now we've come to the end of today's tutorial. So now this is my back pattern and this is my front pattern. So please, if you found this tutorial helpful, please like and subscribe, and you can share with anyone you know is in need of this tutorial. So thank you very much. I'll be seeing you in the next video where I'll be using this pattern to draft out a shirt or a palazzo with this same pattern. So stay tuned. Bye. Thank you for watching.